You'll be glad you did. 0% with roof credit.
Attention students and anyone else looking for a great deal. Sun Valley Lanes and Games has the ultimate weeknight special. For just $15.95, enjoy unlimited bowling, lucky putt mini golf, and laser tag. Flash your college ID at check-in to receive $2 off your admission. It's the perfect way to unwind Sunday through Thursday nights. Check out sunvalleylanes.com for hours and availability. Sun Valley Lanes and Games, located at 321 Victory Lane.
Lincoln's best place to meet, eat, and compete. Sun Valley.
If you're a homeowner or a business owner, you have a lot of projects, and no one has an unlimited budget or time. Sunbelt Rentals makes all jobs less stressful with no need to purchase large equipment or hire a crew. You can do it yourself with rentals and everything from aerators and power rakes for spring yard work to stump grinders, concrete mixers, tile saws, and more. Check out their inventory in Lincoln, north of Cornhusker Highway on 56th Street, or online at sunbeltrentals.com.
Herrick Services takes this time to wish everyone a happy and safe Halloween. With all the parents and kids out and about, they encourage drivers to be careful and respectful of trick-or-treaters. This important message comes to you from Bart and the folks at Herrick Services, your vending specialists here in Lincoln. Their quality service and expertise has earned them a fine reputation. That's Herrick Services, on the air because they care.
At Action Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Electrical, we're ready, reliable, and recommended. Water heater acting up or your sump pump on the fritz? Call Action. Summer's around the corner. Is your AC working? Are you sure? Call Action. Electrical problems? I'm telling you, call Action. Call Action for a free same-day estimate or a trusted second opinion. You heard that right, a free same-day estimate. 402-423-6960. ActionLincoln.com.
This show's pretty rockin', huh?
Yeah, I'm so glad my State Farm agent helped me go.
Huh?
My State Farm agent. They help me with options to personalize my auto insurance to get a great rate that fits my budget, so I don't have to give up the things I love.
Wow. Hey, so do you think I could get your State Farm agent's number?
Call your local State Farm agent, Vinny Kreekak, at 402-474-1173.
Individual premiums and budgets will vary by customer. All applicants subject to State Farm underwriting requirements.
If you're in Seward or Milford, listen up. Select Plumbing is now servicing your area with no trip charges from Lincoln. Select Plumbing works on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate, 402-560-6197. It's not just Lincoln, Waverly, and the surrounding area anymore. It's also Seward and Milford with no trip charges. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197.
Ryan, with all this red and all these people around, I'm still not seeing the tailgate.
Todd Spidell, former body shop owner, terrible driver.
We're getting close. Now, did you know with 3 locations in Lincoln and hundreds of years of combined technician experience, we can get Husker fans back on the road even quicker and safer after their tailgate mishaps? Oh, Todd, turn left right here.
Left or right?
Left, right here.
Right?
Well, you wait for the tow truck. I'm getting a hot dog.
Well, I guess while I'm waiting. All right! Most recommended! Eustace Body Shop!
Woohoo! Dude, you should be on American Idol.
You really think so?
No.
Accidents happen, even to Husker fans. If it happens to you, call Eustace Body Shop, where our customers send their friends.
The most recommended Eustace Body Shop. That's who we are.
Automotive Solutions is Lincoln's one-stop shop for all your vehicle needs, from vinyl wraps to engine repair and maintenance. Automotive Solutions offers fleet services as well as painting and graphic design for vinyl applications, plus installation of vinyl for boats, trucks, cars, and anything else you want wrapped. Perfection is their standard, and they never settle for less. Call today at 531-249-5600 or go to automotivesolutionslincoln.com to learn more. That's Automotive Solutions, 2024 Southwest 5th Street in Lincoln.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with a child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. This is Old School, sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. Broadcasting veteran Derek Pearson.
When you find something that moves them, that makes them smile, celebrate it. That's your task. That's your superpower.
Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman.
Rifles a pass. It was tipped. It's picked off by Foreman. He's at the 15, 10, 5. He'll score!
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Jay, unmute.
Hey, my bad. Sorry about that. That lets you know I don't stream in enough. But Jay Foreman, DP, is back in full effect. Austin Orman on the 1s and 2s. We're Old School. Brought to you by the Mercado, Certified Piedmontese Special Agrees at Butcher Shop. 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, 85th and Andre Matt, and 168th and Maple up there in the O. Fellas, what's popping? There's a lot going on. Austin, look, I won't even go in on you and your quarterback being grossly out of shape, kind of a la Donovan McNabb when he played for the Redskins, but we'll stay on task, man. I mean, obviously, you know, the Huskers showed a little bit of different – that was a different game, different type of fight than the moral victory. So I think it's you know, look, you never get anything – you don't get the ultimate positive, I guess, out of not winning the game, but I think it's also that the light was shined bright enough to where now the expectations and the extra adage of true grit and fight is there, and so therefore you know the expectation is to see that week in and week out. So I think it's if there is something to come good out of it, it's that. Obviously the play calling has been questioned. I got some pretty different thoughts on that, but everything else is pointing in the right direction. Is UCLA or bust this week?
Yeah, you just said a thing, Jay, that I was talking to Nick and Jake in the back, and that came up. That we've said this many times in the previous 4 or 5 years, that this week's game is must win. This week's game is no excuse. This week's game is a program changer, a culture shifter, rebranding of the personality and profile of Nebraska football. So I'll ask you, Hall of Famer. I'll ask you, Hall of Famer, how important on the Foreman scale of 1 to 7, how important is it that the Huskers figure out how to beat UCLA at home Saturday at Memorial Stadium?
I mean, it's always. I mean, every game for me, is 7. But I think realistically, it's anywhere from a 5. I don't think it's a program changer. I don't think it's a. I think people put that label on it because it's low hanging fruit. I think there's a lot of lazy people that do, evaluations of the program or on the radio. It's a lot of easy stuff, and so that's easy saying. Anytime you play against a ranked opponent, we say this is the biggest. We got to do this. Is one victory is not going to change the culture, or change the whole thing. It's a step in the right direction. It's like people say, well, if we would have been able to play Akron or whatever in the first game and not been rained out or weathered out, then the tenure of Scott Frost and they would have went different. It's a big game because it's obviously you've been on the road the last 2 games and they're both road games have been significantly different, but then also it's an opponent that you feel like you have a really good chance of beating. But then also what I meant is more importantly is that the way you played on the road after essentially, letting yourself down, which is probably more important than letting media members and fans down, that you were able to answer the bell, but then also play, and execute and show actually, that playing to win. And there is a difference, man. I think I always say that on every team you got some pretenders or people that pretend to like they want to win. I think this is their first time that you could, as a former player athlete, you could see that was the true intentions was to go there and win. And that was, probably confidence in what they probably always had. But I think they learned it real early in the game that, they belonged on the field. And ultimately there's a few plays that need to be made or ones that weren't made, whether assisted or not assisted by the situation and the refs throughout the game. But ultimately, the players were able to have that game in their hands, and that's what you want, coming down the stretch.
Jay, what do you do, one, as a player, on the field, in the huddle, on the sideline, when it comes up? And I think I know the answer, but I want to hear it anyway. That what do you do as a player, as a leader, as a Hall of Famer, when the calls start appearing to, and I'll throw those in air quotes, appearing to go left? What do you do? What do you say? How do you receive it? How do you deal with it?
Well, I mean, I think the biggest thing you do is obviously, to the magnitude of what they're having, but you always want to be able to not leave it in the ref's hands. But when you're making the plays and doing the things you want guys to come out of their breaks hard and run routes, and you're getting tugged from behind. Whether they're missing, magically missing, 2 yards, or it will take away 2 yards away from you on a first down in 30, 40 seconds at the end of the half. You just got to keep plugging away, but then ultimately you got to look really deep into the plays that maybe preceded that. So why would you do that? It's always a cause and effect. Should you have been maybe 3rd and 2 versus like 3rd and 6? So you got to kind of look at that, but ultimately you got to put the trust in. The coaches are in this case, Matt Rule, he'll go to bat for you, and he's showing you the willingness to. And I said it, inside the huddle yesterday morning. I said that in the post game. I mean, it's at the point when it's egregious like that in a close game, and it's blatant. Now this is extreme. It would cross my mind if I was a head coach whether I'd go out. I would bring my team out there, because you never would want to obviously tell the team not to answer the bell, but it would be something that where I'd hold. It would be a holding pattern till I can see the refs, look them in the eye, and say enough is enough. Because that game Saturday on national TV was horrendous at times, and it was definitely a disadvantage for Nebraska.
Austin, when from the fan standpoint, and you get the voice as the Husker fan analyst, stark eyes, Austin, how does Husker Nation feel? I'm asking you to be the pulse and temperature for Husker Nation after watching a winnable game in a tough building against a tough squad. So you tell me what I missed.
They're pissed, but they're still coming back next week, right? I mean, I think there's another missed opportunity that you were 1 play away, maybe 2 plays away. You can spin it a couple different ways. That they saw the fight they wanted to. They're I don't say impressed necessarily. They're not satisfied. I guess I would fall back to the Matt Rule word, fulfilled, right? They saw the team get up off the mat, take a top 5 most talented team in the country down to the wire. Still upset because, like Jay said, despite all the issues with refs, with being maybe overmatched physically and in terms of talent, you're still in that game 1 play away. So I think it feels like it's felt before, where Nebraska fans are tired of being 1 play away, but they're not going to give up their hope that, hey, maybe this actually is a corner turn this time.
Jay?
Yeah, I mean, it's, I don't think it's coming, still showing up. I just think it's, for a fan, you got to, when you watch Indiana, that's probably was more or less the disappointing shock and anger and stuff like that. With Nebraska, considering the circumstances, you should be proud. But then also, a fan's job is to support. You can evaluate, but you got to be really in tune in what what you're doing and what you're looking for. I think one of the biggest things that we'll jump into is that the execution needs to be, the easy thing to do is like the pylon, and one of Nebraska reporters went in there and asked one of the Ohio State players about play calling and so forth and so on. And it's great after you win. It's almost like yesterday the Patriots player was talking about Aaron Rodgers not being as mobile. Well, he's 40 years old, all right, off of Achilles. Common sense, which generally is not used very often, will tell you he's not going to be very mobile at 40 years old, healthy, in particular coming off a Achilles injury. And then, it's easy to go in and ask an opponent about play calling when you end up when your home team, I guess, ends up losing, they're making a play. But if you really look at the game, It wasn't the play calling. I'm sorry to break people. I'm sorry for people that are on this radio station that are on before me. I'm sorry to break your heart. It's not play calling. Could the play calling be better? Sure. Is there things that, like, the fourth down play? Probably would like to see, maybe Emmett in there because he has a little bit better vision. Would have probably even liked Dante to go outside. That ain't got nothing to do with play calling. Could you set it up a little bit different? Sure. There was plays to be made, plays that weren't made. Now you're not going to make 100% of the plays, and you're not going to get 100% great play calling. The execution, or what I call, what I always talk about, is direct access plays is what killed us, and that's probably one of the things that probably needs. If we could get that direct access plays, could be in two different or a multitude of ways. It could be I just don't block the guy in front of me. He has direct access to DP. Or I could be at the point of attack and whiff, and then therefore, again, essentially, I just kind of got in his way for a half a second, millisecond. He's directly has access to, in this case, I'm thinking just off the top of my head down there, Dante Lloyd on the kind of a jet sweep. And, if you just get a little bit more of a block on the guy that ended up making the tackle, the fact that he was able to run through 2 or 3 guys, I like the chances of him possibly getting in the end zone. Then you got a different game. So, to play, so I just think that, you got to really start watching the game versus piling on, because if you don't, you're going to end up being in the same position you've been in for the last, quite frankly, 20-something years, and so, everybody needs to improve. I mean, I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say that everybody needs to improve, but there's some fine-tuned details that need to be a little bit more efficient, and that has nothing to do with the play calling. It's on the players.
Doesn't it feel? Austin made a point, and again, I use Jay as the palate cleanser and the timeline cleanser. Sometimes the conversation becomes repetitive. A bunch of people at the trough, first person eats, everybody else eats what they ate simply because. But he said a thing that it feels like it did before. So I ask you, Hall of Famer, was Saturday different? And if it wasn't, the answer is simple. If it was different than what's happened in, let's say, the last 5 years, and that record of 1-score losses, right? No matter who you lose against for 1 score, it's still a 1-score loss. Is it the same, Jay?
No, because I don't even remember. No, I mean, I don't think it's the same. I mean, I guess you're referencing the 3-9, in particular, the best 3-9 team of all time, versus, right? Is that what we're talking about? I mean, that's essentially what people would refer to as is like, we got to walk around in the offseason and being the best, crappiest team ever in the nation, right? I think it was 0-0. We had a 0 point, there was no point differential. But we were 6 losses in the, or 6 in the negative in the win-loss column, versus right now, 1-score games that, first of all, the parity, you have to take Nebraska out of it and take just in general. There's more parity in college football than ever before. It's been trending that way ever since the TV contracts and the expansion of college football across different networks. So if you don't understand that, that is factual. And then as far as when you're potentially on the uptick, or when you're playing up against opponents or playing like opponents, most likely the games are going to be very close. Now, every close game isn't created equal. Every 1-score game isn't created the same either. So it's, if you're not a ranked team and you're playing a number 4 team, very rarely do you beat them by 2 scores, right? And if you're playing really well, very rarely are you going to be getting beat by 2 scores. And so it's, there's meat on each side of the bone. There's definitely things obviously that's led to in the past that us not being able to complete the mission is obviously ultimately winning those games. And where they're moving now, what it looks like on a consistent basis, they're just right on the cusp of doing it. And now they got to figure that extra, adage or thing they need to do so. it's the hardest thing to do. You know, I always equate it to like when you're taking off, there's turbulence. You know, the captain gets on and says, we got a little bit of a bumpy ride. You know, but, you know, I don't know when, but we got to go through the clouds. And once we get up above the clouds, you know, we're going to be pretty smooth sailing. But right now we're right in the end of the, you know, bumpiness or whatever. And then we got to be able to either, put the gas down, get out of there, or we got to figure a way to kind of navigate our way through it and slowly but surely get out of there. So, you know, it's just a unique, I mean, it's a, you know, it's a weird, it's not a weird, but it's a hard thing for me to say because I'm a big on the black and white. You win or you lose. But the eye test and feel is a lot different. I think more importantly for me, it'll probably bode well for me if they can double down on it, but then more importantly, double down on it and win.
That's where I was going to go, DJ, is that, I mean, it kind of feels the same right now because we don't have that next data point yet, right? I mean, Nebraska still does have 4 opportunities to prove Matt Rule right. He's with you. No, it felt different. No, it looked better. It felt better in the locker room, the championship, mentality he said that he felt at halftime. But to your point, it's still black and white. It's wins and losses.
Right.
Nebraska still lost the game, but this team has a chance to prove that it's not the same, that enough has changed, that there is, one step forward and not necessarily 2 steps back coming, right? That's maybe the exciting part the Husker fans are clinging to. They want to believe that it's different. They want to, but they won't say it's different until, like you said, they get a chance to double down on it against UCLA going into a bye week and then 3 more times in November.
Yeah, I think it's going to be, once Nebraska wins Saturday, then it'd be like, all right, then we got to win the next 2 out of 3. It's all, listen, Husker fans, just like every fan, you give them a little bit, they want more, and I like that. I like the expectations to be higher. I mean, you should always want to try to prove yourself right versus trying to prove everybody wrong. And it is different. I mean, he knows more than anybody as far as Matt Rule does because he sees them every day. He knows what it looks like. He's in the locker room. None of us has, and none of us would be privy to that. So, he's a better judge than that. But in order to make it right, kind of like to make himself right last week when. You'd say it was a one-off by the defense, right? You showed it was a one-off, or you showed that wasn't your true self in a big game, and probably in a lesser, probably more, probably a harder situation. You got a team that's coming off a bye week, motivated to Ohio State to make the a splash because they're out of the news cycle for a week. And, on paper, obviously very talented, probably the best roster talent, that you can buy. And they're looking to try to think like, okay, well, if Indiana did this, we're going to, really tune up for a Penn State. And they got met with some force. And Nebraska was able to continue that force. I think if you ever had any doubt whether you could play, hopefully that was nullified. More importantly now, you got to find the way to make some more winning plays. Now we got to start scoring more points. I mean, that's without a doubt, right? We got to start scoring more points. We got to figure out a way to marry explosiveness with clock management, and it can be done. But that's what we have to do versus worrying about what play calling. And in the next segment, we'll answer your text about the screens and all that, and why you run screens, the anatomy of the screens. What team is set up perfectly to run screens against, and what do you need to run a screen, all that stuff. But more importantly, you got to be able to, offensive philosophy. I think you saw a breakthrough there. Whether it's telling yourself you got to run, being told you got to run, or either way, the play calling meshed up a little bit better than what actually the output was. So with that being said, we'll take a quick break, come back. Jay Foreman, DP Austin, old school. We'll dive into the screens, and see what we can do to improve that, but why they were not working, and why they hopefully will in the future, and why you run them against, or who you run them against most likely. After a quick break, we'll be right back.
You're listening to Old School with DP and J. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hi, this is State Senator Carolyn Bosson. Education is a cornerstone for strong, vibrant communities. I voted for the largest investment in education in Nebraska history. As a state senator, wife, and mom, I believe Nebraska is a great place to work and raise a family. My husband Reggie and I are local family business owners and understand the valuable role of education in growing our community. This is Carolyn Bosson, and I will continue to support education in the legislature. Vote Carolyn Bosson on November 5th, paid for by Bosson for Legislature.
It's the fall sports season, and that means that the school year is back in session and you're planning road trips for Nebraska football games and following your kids around to their different events. Stop telling yourself you'll upgrade your car someday and do it now. Mullen Motors Lot is full of great vehicles to take home so you don't have to worry about your current car struggling through another season. Come check out their lot just north of 48th and Lake and find your next ride. As your fall schedule gets busy, you'll need a reliable way to get to your destinations. Mullen Motors.
No taglines, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
General Fire and Safety has been keeping Lincoln businesses and commercial structures safe for more than 50 years. From a simple fire extinguisher to full fire suppression systems, Lincoln has trusted General Fire and Safety to provide top-of-the-line products, installation, and maintenance. If you're starting a new business in a brand new building, call on General Fire and Safety to help you plan a fire safety system that fits the specific needs of your business, employees, and customers. Call General Fire and Safety today at 402-261-0116.
Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started.
When you need a new water heater, nothing beats the ProLine family of water heaters from A.O. Smith. ProLine models are built using commercial-grade components, meaning they're built to help you tackle your toughest days. No matter if you need a gas or electric model, A.O. Smith has a ProLine unit for you. A.O. Smith, innovation has a name. Call Patriot Plumbing at 402-464-7411 for a great deal on a water heater today. Again, that's 402-464-7411.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals just like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
If you're in Seward or Milford, listen up. Select Plumbing is now servicing your area with no trip charges from Lincoln. Select Plumbing works on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate, 402-560-6197. It's not just Lincoln, Waverly, and the surrounding area anymore. It's also Seward and Milford with no trip charges. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197. At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just a professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at pahlincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, our passion. For happier, healthier furry friends.
Perch Merch is your one-stop shop for all your printing and promotional needs in Lincoln, Nebraska. They specialize in screen printing, embroidery, vehicle wraps, window wraps, print collateral, promotional products, and signage. At Perch Merch, they are committed to delivering high-quality products and exceptional customer service. Their experienced team of designers and printing professionals will work with you every step of the way to ensure that your vision is realized. Call for a quote today at 402-217-5212 or go to perch-merch.com.
Herrick Services takes this time to wish everyone a happy and safe Halloween. With all the parents and kids out and about, they encourage drivers to be careful and respectful of trick-or-treaters. This important message comes to you from Bart and the folks at Herrick Services, your vending specialists here in Lincoln. Their quality service and expertise has earned them a fine reputation. That's Herrick Services, on the air because they care.
Hey everyone, Lance here with Black Label. We specialize in creating custom crafted decks, pergolas, patio covers, and more. Plus, our retractable screens, gazebos, and patio enclosures create the ultimate outdoor retreat. With over 50 years of combined experience, we're not just builders, we're creators of unforgettable memories.
Call them today at 402-730-6333 or visit blacklabelbuilt.com for a free consultation.
Let's turn your backyard dreams into reality.
Black Label Built, built to serve, built to last.
Back to old school with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We're back, Jay Foreman, DP, Austin, the old school crew. We are covering the screen game. The screen game was, I guess, at the press conference, why it was and wasn't working. I will tell you this: if you wanted to learn, if you want to watch a team, the best screen caller, I've said this before, and the best over the time his tenure as a head coach, and obviously also when he was a coordinator, and I think he learned from Mike Holmgren and those guys, is Andy Reid. When you call a screen, how you run it and who you run it with is probably the biggest advantage you can have. And so why do you call a screen? You call screens against really, really aggressive teams that you want to catch them being use what their best attribute is which is a team that wants to get upfield, you obviously try to murder your quarterback, essentially stop the run on the way of rushing to the passer. That's essentially what Ohio State's defensive like front seven or front six philosophy is. Everything's coming downhill, trying to force the action and put the pressure on you. If you could pop one of those screens and get to one of your playmakers, then especially on the outside versus trying to, conventionally run the game, could be an explosive play. That did not happen. It's generally set up the way teams run screens now. You have to be, really, really good or excellent on the perimeter. We had some advantages probably with our tight ends and H-backs. We did not take advantage of those. And then therefore, once you at the point of attack, again, direct access, especially with the press coverage that Ohio State was running. And I would say this again post game, and I said it again on Inside the Huddle. Make sure you guys, check it out 8:00 on Sundays. Is with the way that the game was being called and not being called. If you go back and really, really watch the game and just turn off the sound, there was a couple times that the Ohio State actually, when we ran those screens, they were lined up off sides or defense in the neutral zone. Why is that? Why is that important? Because then that messes up the timing or the mesh point for the number 2 receiver, which would be blocking the number 1 corner or the wide receiver 1's corner. It pretty much nullifies it, and essentially you can't run the play. That's on the refs. So you have a side judge there where you see a receiver, he checks see if he's onside or lined up correctly on and off the ball. Well, then also the corner it has to be checked as well. And that was not being done. And so the screen game obviously was trying to pop one. Sometimes you do run plays to see if you can set up another play. But ultimately that was a play that obviously is kind of like, I think Nebraska media and people find one play that they want to focus on. Danny Langsdorff was the screen actually in the red zone. Didn't work out because against Iowa, they picked it 6 and ended up beating us. Scott Frost was a swing pass. And now it's the screen game or the tunnel screen, jailbreak screen, now screen. Nebraska was not able to run to any effectiveness Saturday against Ohio State.
Jay, let me put a different hat on your head for a second. Let's go to basketball coach Jay Foreman. And point guard keeps kicking to the corner 3 for your wing, and your wing takes 7 threes and goes over.
Yeah.
Goes over.
Mm-hmm.
Critical moment in the game. Your point guard looks at you and says, he's going to be open in the corner. What do you say to him? Do you
well, I mean, for me, I always encourage kids, like if I put you in a spot as a shooter, I trust you. I mean, that's what I'm going to do. And sometimes the kids take it too far because I got a couple kids that shoot dang threes. They think it's green lights coming over half court. So I guess I'm the wrong guy. I know what you're saying.
Austin Orman. Look at Austin over here.
me.
Yeah. That would be the dude.
I'm the problem. It's me.
Austin be the dude saying he's the reason why I probably throw my hat. But I think it's I think it's one of those things that
You'll thank me later.
Yeah,
that's all right. Yeah, I know, right? And then you make one out, you be 1 of 14. It's the revisionist history. But I think it's what you're getting at is if it's not been working, you got to kind of put it on the shelf, so forth and so on. There was a couple there that was 1 block away from working. I think that's really where when you look at Nebraska's lack of explosiveness or ability to versus the beginning of the year versus now competition, and they probably have more. They have more like tape on you, I guess. Is this again at the mesh point, whatever you want to call it, the mesh point, the point of attack, where the play starts. They have got to get better at everybody getting on their guys and creating space. And so whether it's the screen game, run game or not, that's pretty much obviously where the crux of it. And so do you keep calling it? I think we ran it one on the last drive. I heard somebody earlier say today, maybe not. But ultimately you don't get in that you won't be in that situation if you execute early in the game. So
but there's a reason why it doesn't work. There's no matter what play, no matter what personnel, no matter what down and distance, if something doesn't work, there's a reason why it doesn't work. And if it consistently doesn't work,
right,
you open yourself. You almost demand that people judge you for continually doing the thing that doesn't work, rather than preparing your team to do something else at a high level. So great, one of the best linebackers to ever wear the scarlet and cream. Teams are running screens on film to Jay Foreman's side.
Yeah.
Jay Foreman knows, listen, there are certain keys that are going to tell me it's coming. And then there are certain things that I can do to disrupt it. Even if you don't shut it down, you can disrupt it. But Jay Foreman also knows that if he's going to play aggressively against the screen pass, not on pressuring the quarterback, but on defending the screen pass, Jay Foreman also knows that he cannot be 2 places at the same time. And the adage of it is, if a linebacker is giving you pressure, throw to that pressure. And this Nebraska offense, I don't know what it's play calling. I don't know if it's reads. I don't know if it's technique. I don't know if it's scheme. I don't know. But there's a way to attack teams that defend the screen well. And if everybody's defending your screen well, it's in your attack or execution. Which one is it, or both? Jay?
I mean, it's probably a little bit of both, but I think execution is probably. I'm big on execution.
Okay.
I mean, I feel very good about that.
Yeah. No.
Execution needs to be there. I mean, it's execution needs to be there. The screen game is a little different because if you watch, when Tom Brady, when they won their first Super Bowl, they ran a ton of screens. Really weren't very effective in the screens. Now they were able to do that because the screen actually set up their inside-outside run game. Now, obviously, running the ball was a lot different back then just because of the difference of the way the game was played and the things that you were able to do defensively against the screen. But that's how the Patriots chose to attack on their offense. I think, it's hard because I'm sure the execution and what's happening in practice is probably not happening in the games. I think there's other factors into it as far as what's being executed prior to that. And so I think it's gotta you gotta keep plugging at it. You can't take it out of your playbook. Whether you run it with different players, do you run it differently with a different type of body type out there? Do you run it out of different personnel? You can find different ways to skin a cat because the play itself is fine in interior wise. Exterior wise, we just need a little bit better at it. So maybe if you just add a little bit of, I guess a spice to it or whatever you want to call it, it might be more efficient. And so when you're doing it and they were having a good day on it, man, but there was some stuff. I mean, there was some stuff that was there that just didn't get taken advantage of, and you just can't do it when you're not expecting direct access to come off the right edge unblocked when when you're talking about your attack, right? They ran the screen right, but the attack was going into the middle. Well, when you wanted to go to the middle, 44 got you. So then you can't really. It's not really the screen game, and so what Ohio State does when they go to the bench, they say, "Yeah, that's great, you got a sack," but the attack of the middle was open. So then, therefore, you're like, okay, so you kind of like plan for that, and it becomes a chess match, and then sometimes you, don't get to take advantage of some of the situations or circumstances.
What did you as a linebacker, whether it was Nebraska or Buffalo, when somebody they were running the screen well against you and your defense? What was the thing that you hated about it? Because that's the thing that you adjust to, right? If they're beating you with even Buffalo's offense back in the Jim Kelly thermal days, Kenneth Davis, their tight end work was strong off the screen game because they would fake the screen and then they would almost option route the tight end off of kind of a like he would float into screen motion and then he would just turn and become the target receiver. From an outside linebacker, how do you want Nebraska to attack when it comes to the screen game?
Well, I mean, the screens that work best against me, I guess that's all I could talk about because I'm not in the meetings. I think that's what I mean. Timing is huge. And so the best screen teams is you have a play that comes off of it. And that's what I was talking about. They had plays that came off of it or prior plays that were setting up the screens. And then you just don't, you just need one guy to just literally probably just get in the way. Even play patty cake or whatever it is, just get out the way or, get in the way and get out of the way. The timing is huge. And then obviously you want to have guys that get out and can count. And the biggest thing in the screen game, which you have to do in any offense and defense is to be able to count because you got to understand that you have the objectives. You want the 3 technique or the onside defense attack on defensive end, in particular, the 3 technique to get upfield. So then he eliminated himself by, pass rushing. You want to have your running back, in particular, I'm talking about running back screens, be able to get, behind the lineman and kind of hide a little bit. And then you want guys that are smart enough to know where the flow is coming from as far as trying to stop it. Now, when you're running jailbreak screens, I call them jailbreak screens. I know they don't call them that anymore. They call them tunnel screens. They'll call them orbit screens. They'll call them morbid screens. You put all these dumb names on them, and it's all the same thing. You throw it out there, and you're trying to create a running lane, essentially a punt return out there between the hash and the numbers, or the hash and the sideline, wherever you are before the ball is snapped. And so you want to make sure the timing of that is good, right? You want to make sure that if you're running let's say I'll call it a jailbreak screen. That's with the outside guy. You want to make sure that you're at least pressing and getting that guy off of you as far as the man-to-man coverage. What was happening is he was getting into the hip pocket of the receiver and not whether it's splits or whatever. Maybe you could curtail this by splits and you can do shifts, you can do motions, you can shift, then motion. So then you can get to the same split that you originally got to by when you ran this play. But at least you're getting them moving and they're not stagnant as far as the defensive guys. But then off of that screen, right, came the Jamal Banks missed opportunity up the sideline. So when you're asking to attack, so their aggressiveness, that's essentially the play off the screen right there, right? You just didn't hit it. Yeah. The 7 cut to Barney, you didn't hit it. These are all options off the screen. And so when you're thinking of like, well, how do you set up the screen? Why you run the screen when you run it? It's almost like you take a couple gut punches with the hope that you would have hit one of those two. And so execution efficiency needs to go, probably go up a lot more than versus the volume of a particular play.
Yep.
In a big game. In a big game, you got to hit one. They hit 3, we got to hit one.
Well, that was the other thing is that I just at some point, the playmakers have to make plays. Like that. Quite frankly, sometimes your guys have to win. You have to beat somebody that's just as talented, who's in the right place, and you just have to make the right throw. You have to break a tackle. You have to see it differently. It's just a thing. Like it's just there, but that's also a growth thing down the road. Jay, I have an announcement when we come back. How's that?
Yeah, that sounds good, man. You can take us to break. I'm on pins and needles.
Old school on the ticket when we come back.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Load up on meat and more this fall at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese at 84th and Havelock. This week's special through October 29th is $1 off per pound on New York strips. Spend $50 and get a free brick of ground beef and 25% off on tea. Locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Highway 2 in Lincoln, or 168th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
Hi, this is State Senator Carolyn Bosson. Education is a cornerstone for strong, vibrant communities. I voted for the largest investment in education in Nebraska history. As a state senator, wife, and mom, I believe Nebraska is a great place to work and raise a family. My husband Reggie and I are local family business owners and understand the valuable role of education in growing our community. This is Carolyn Bosson, and I will continue to support education in the legislature. Vote Carolyn Bosson on November 5th, paid for by Bosson for Legislature.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals just like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
Garage doors can be expensive. Are you keeping yours in the best condition possible? This is Cameron Hall with Doors Plus. Doors Plus is a locally owned business that prides itself on the fast, reliable, and friendly service. Doors Plus offers flexible scheduling so you can book an appointment that fits your busy day. My team and I will come out to your property, both commercial and residential, and provide you with the necessary information you need to make sure your garage door is in working and smooth condition. Give Doors Plus a call today at 402-590-5800 to book an appointment and learn more about our preventative maintenance plans. Doors Plus, garage doors, and more.
When you were a kid, clubs were cool. Robotics club and space club and stuff like that. But what do adults get? Book clubs and quilting clubs? Nah, forget that. How about margarita clubs and old-fashioned clubs? Get to Upside Bar and Lounge for the best clubs in town. Try all 10 varieties of Upside margaritas or old fashions and take home a free souvenir glass. Grab the whole crew and pair it with taco night on Mondays or whiskey Wednesdays. Upside Bar and Lounge at 29th and Pine Lake.
At Action Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Electrical, we're ready, reliable, and recommended. Water heater acting up or your sump pump on the fritz? Call Action. Summer's around the corner. Is your AC working? Are you sure? Call Action. Electrical problems? I'm telling you, call Action. Call Action for a free same-day estimate or trusted second opinion. You heard that right, a free same-day estimate. 402-423-6960. ActionLincoln.com.
Mulberry Barbecue by Single Barrel is the answer to all your lunch and dinner cravings. They have everything from smoked turkey sandwiches to brisket burritos to burnt-in sandwiches and pulled pork. Try a dinner plate option of barbecue nachos, a half-smoked chicken, a full slab of ribs, and so much more. Don't forget their great sides like mac and cheese, cheesy potatoes, barbecue beans, or red slaw. Mulberry Barbecue by Single Barrel, open Monday to Saturday from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. at 11th and Cornhusker Highway.
At Fairway Meat Market, you're family, and as part of the family, they want to save you money on your meat and groceries. Fairway has fresh cut meats, seafood, cheese, wine and spirits, and a friendly staff that's always ready to help find what you need. Stop by Fairway Meat Market today to plan your weekly meals. Located in the Rockledge Square Shopping Center, just south of 84th and Van Dorn.
Have you been injured in an accident and don't know where to turn? You need an attorney you can trust to handle your case with professionalism and compassion. The attorneys at Liberty Law Group understand that a call to an attorney is a call for help. If you've been injured, we want to help you. Liberty Law's experienced attorneys are committed to the pursuit of justice for those injured. Call Liberty Law Group and find out how we can help get you the compensation you deserve. Call 877-42-LIBERTY. 877-42-LIBERTY. Liberty Law Group. Trial attorneys you can trust.
The temperature and leaves are falling daily, so that means it's time for a new pair of shoes for the fall season from Brown Shoe Fit. Now, through October 31st, take $15 off any regular priced fall shoe and boots. Brands like Keen, Obos, Echo, Taos, and Atrex, all $15 off. Some exclusions may apply. See store for details. This is the sale that you've all been waiting for. So get down to Brown Shoe Fit on 66th and Q.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started.
Back to old school with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
What up? We're back. It's announcement time, man. We got a couple minutes before we're at the top of.
Top of the hour coming up. And actually, Jay and Austin, in real form, it's two announcements. It's actually two. The first one is that tomorrow at 4:00, instead of old school, it'll be Takedown Tuesdays. Takedown Tuesdays with Mark Manning from the wrestling program, Husker Wrestling. I want to introduce you to one of the elite wrestling programs in the country and to give them a place each week, every Tuesday from 4 to 5 o'clock, right before, teammates, to come on and share the stories and the journey towards a national title, a Big Ten title and a national title. And we know enough about Big Ten wrestling and national wrestling that champions come from the Big Ten Conference, and it's a real battle. But exposure and donation is required in order for them to take the next step from number 5 in the country to number 2 and number 1, because you got to step through Big Ten teams to do it, and resources and familiarity are important. So tomorrow, Mark Manning and Takedown Tuesdays here from 4 to 5 o'clock. The second announcement, Jay Foreman, is a thing that's been a long time coming. And Jay has given me grief over it. My family has given me grief over it. There's some players who gave me grief over it. And I said it was the thing. So there's only one way to make this announcement. Austin Norman, if you would please, kind sir. Yes, sir. Come on. Jay Foreman, it's in your blood. He can't even help it.
You back on board now? You back on board?
Listen, it is official. I am out of the NFL fan transfer portal. I'm back home. I'm back with the homies. I'm back. DC. DC. Now, two things before folks listen. It's not. Think of the way Husker fans root for, care about, investigate, feel about Husker football, whether it's on the field, off the field, in the community, etc. And there's some things that just make Husker fans crazy because it's a blue blood program. It's a blue blood program. And the expectation and the standard can never be lowered to blue. That's the whole point of being blue blood, is that not only do you hold the standard, but you reset the standard. You cannot lower yourselves because it's convenient. You cannot lower yourself from money. You cannot lower yourself from outside influence. You cannot lower yourself from competing against the elites. And all of those things had to be fixed. They had to be fixed. And it wasn't necessarily about the production on the field. See, when you get mad about Husker football, it's the stuff that happens away from the field that affects what happens on the field, and that's why you get frustrated. I got invited back to the Legends Weekend. And Jay Foreman, you've been to NFL alumni weekends, and there is a bonding that happens. There are conversations that happen. There are scars that when your program, your organization hasn't been its true self, you have to heal. You have to heal. And the things off the field allow me to call myself a Washington fan. On the field, I said all along, the stuff off the field would show up on the field, good or bad. That's always been the case. And when they fixed the nonsense that was going on off the field, miraculously, top talent all of a sudden starts to show up, and you have the Washington Miracle. And Jaden Daniels and the throw. And listen, I literally gave, you know, the scene from Boomerang, Jay, where Eddie Murphy just looks at David Allen Greer and he just doesn't know what to say and he wants to give him a hug. That was me and Harrison Arns in the mill today. Harrison walked up, and as a Bears fan, I didn't know what to say to him because I know he had a day yesterday. And that result, for every Bear fan in the country, they felt a certain kind of way. And guess what? I understand. But guess what? I'm back. Austin, one more time as we go to break. Jay Foreman, go ahead and let your DMV out, bruh. You go ahead. It's just family. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. The heartbeat of the nation's capital. Yes, sir. How about it? He's back. Yes, sir. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Old School with DP and J. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
At Fairway Meat Market, you're family, and as part of the family, they want to save you money on your meat and groceries. Fairway has fresh-cut meats, seafood, cheese, wine and spirits, and a friendly staff that's always ready to help find what you need. Stop by Fairway Meat Market today to plan your weekly meals. Located in the Rockledge Square Shopping Center, just south of 84th and Van Dorn.
This is State Senator Carolyn Bozin. Public safety is important in our community. I have a proven record of protecting public safety. I have prosecuted perpetrators of domestic violence, advocated for the rights of child abuse victims, held sexual predators accountable, and fought to keep drug traffickers off our streets. This is Senator Carolyn Bozin, and I will continue to fight to keep our community safe. Vote Carolyn Bozin on November 5th. Paid for by Bozin for Legislature.
Post Malone is teaming up with Raising Cane's to empower the next generation of artists. For a limited time, 2 exclusive double-sided Post Malone posters are available at Raising Cane's to raise funds for Notes for Notes charity. Focused on providing youth in need free access to instruments, music lessons, and studio resources. Posters drop October 20th with a second design dropping November 3rd. So post up your combo at Cane's while supplies last and support a good cause. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers. One love.
With the Planet Fitness Black Card, you don't just get a great workout, you get a great perk out because your membership is packed with perks. For $1 down and $24.99 a month, you'll get perks like access to any of our 2,400 clean and spacious locations. Bring a friend anytime and both work out with tons of equipment that'll give you that big fitness energy. Relax in the Black Card spa and more. Work out and perk out with the PF Black Card. Join for just $1 down and $24.99 a month. Hurry.
This deal ends soon.
See Home Club for details.
Hey everyone, Lance here with Black Label. We specialize in creating custom crafted decks, pergolas, patio covers, and more. Plus, our retractable screens, gazebos, and patio enclosures create the ultimate outdoor retreat. With over 50 years of combined experience, we're not just builders, we're creators of unforgettable memories.
Call them today at 402-730-6333 or visit blacklabelbuilt.com for a free consultation.
Let's turn your backyard dreams into reality.
Black Label Built, built to serve, built to last. Fall is here, which means it's time to dive into a new lineup of autumn flavors at Wings and Rings. Your home away from home during football season. Their all-star lineup of wing sauces is adding 2 new impact players, curry garlic and pumpkin chili. Need something delicious before kickoff? How about starting your meal with their brand new chorizo nachos and loaded fries? You better act fast. These new tastes of autumn won't be here long. So make the trip to one of their 2 Lincoln locations today on O Street or Village Lane. It's game on at Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Nebraska's premier Kawasaki dealership. Score big on Kawasaki's most dependable side-by-side, the Mule Pro, built to take on your most demanding days. Rule the streets on an Indian motorcycle with customer cash and trade-in credits up to $2,000 during the month of October. On or off-road, Elway Power Sports of Lincoln has you covered with large selection of motorcycles and side-by-sides in stock at their new 27th and I-80 location. Stop by every Saturday for their Husker tailgate with free food, drinks, and games.
When you need a new water heater, nothing beats the ProLine family of water heaters from A.O. Smith. ProLine models are built using commercial-grade components, meaning they're built to help you tackle your toughest days. No matter if you need a gas or electric model, A.O. Smith has a ProLine unit for you. A.O. Smith, innovation has a name. Call Patriot Plumbing at 402-464-7411 for a great deal on a water heater today. Again, that's 402-464-7411.
Hey guys, it's your girl Jordan from Sartor Heyman Jewelers. As you gear up for game day this season, don't forget the MVP in your life. Whether it's a ruby bracelet to show off her team spirit or a timeless Heartland diamond that shines from across the room, we've got the perfect play. Our experts at Sartor Heyman are here to help you make the winning move. Until next time, happy shopping, guys.
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. This is Old School, sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. Broadcasting veteran Derek Pearson.
When you find something that moves them, that makes them smile, celebrate it. That's your task. That's your superpower.
Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman.
Rifles a pass. It was tipped. It's picked off by Foreman. He's at the 15, 10, 5. He'll score!
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
What up, we're back. Jay Foreman, Austin Norman, DP. Old school, top of the 5 o'clock hour. Still kind of going over the Nebraska game. But we were brought to you by the Mercado, Certified Piedmontese Special Ingredients and Butcher Shop, 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, 85th and Andermatt, and 168th and Maple up there in the O. You know, the one thing I'm reading over the text here, and then obviously you got a ton of stuff right here. And I would say I'm big on, players-led teams. Look, man, I think, you got to make sure that I will say this, and I learned this in high school, and obviously was able to kind of be a part of some great teams here. In Nebraska, the teams that I was on, actually this rings true. And some of the guys that had some of the overflow and I guess I kind of went through it maybe 94 year or whatever, you don't become championships aren't earned generally sometimes in that first right at the beginning. You got to learn how to be a champion. You got to learn how to move like a champion. You got to learn how to think like a champion. And there might be some that already do. And then some have to learn, and sometimes you have to learn the hard way. And then sometimes you got to bring people along the way, and sometimes you got to kick people off the train when you're trying to do that. And it's not personal; it's just business. And that's, I think, really, if I had to give, that's what I feel that Ohio State game was, where I think they really learned, learned and saw it tangible. With a championship type of mindset, competitiveness, and then nature that you go about the game when you're playing against anybody, but let alone, the best competition. You got to raise your level of preparation, your level of play, your want to. And so you do a lot of positive things, and now you're seeing you maybe get a little bit of a taste of the fruit, what it's like, what it's like, and it's probably something that's going to inspire and probably give them some hidden confidence that they don't even know that they have right now. And so it's a process that you got to go through. It's a process that was talked about over years prior to Matt Rule and staff coming here, and probably was a little bit of a start maybe when Mickey took over and stuff like that, kind of that type of intensity and letting yourself go and going out there really competing. But then obviously over the last season and a half, it's kind of been something that you've been held to at every step of the way. And then when everybody decides, or majority of your team decides to say, hey, let's like bump it, let's go do this, let's go see what it feels like, right? Let's go really shoot our shot. It might not be pretty. Obviously, nobody's going to just dominate Ohio State. It's not going to be dominant, but we're going to go out there and shoot our shot. And then sometimes you get that result that what you saw on Saturday, it looks a lot different. It feels a lot different. And so that's definitely a step in the right direction. So it's tangible. It's realistic. You like to bottle it, but then also it's a good thing that you can refer back to when I talked about forgive and forget. I think when you think you're close and being in the right place at the right time, and you got to tip your hat. You talk about players making plays. Might have been I don't know if it was a busted coverage or not, but you got to think that first touchdown with Tate, that's once in a season pitch and catch. You got to tip your hat. Sometimes, you would like to have two guys back there, but you had good enough coverage that they had to put a perfect pass with a perfect catch, and obviously some good enough coverage that you, at times, if it's just a couple yards short, couple yards long, 7 points off the board, but they were able to make those plays under pressure. So you got to tip your hat sometimes, because good teams make you make mistakes, and I think sometimes that gets glossed over to where people watch the game and expect when you play against a team like Ohio State that if you run 100 plays, all 100 of them going to work. Sometimes, 94, 33, 44, they got different plans for what you had planned to happen, and there's some pretty dang good players across their defensive front.
Jay, there was an interesting thing that happened Saturday. Well, there are a couple of interesting things, but one, going in the fourth quarter, and I peeked over at the stats, and Nebraska they were plus 13 minutes in time of possession. Plus 13. Equal balance run to pass, and had done a really good job of keeping Ohio State. You couldn't keep them out of the end zone, but you kept them out of the red zone. So they had big plays, which happened. Okay, that's fine. But until the fourth quarter, and I want to say until there were 13 minutes left, Ohio State did not drive inside of Nebraska's red zone. And so there were some things that were happening, and you don't have that sort of dominance, especially over our Ohio State team, without it being on purpose. So
it's not luck.
Right. Like what? And then it leads to the other question. One, you're able to get that sort of ball time of possession control, and it's working, whether it's through dink and dunk passes, through screen passes that sometimes don't work but help something else work. It could be that broken plays with Dylan, taking off and moving the chains. But there was some success. You had to feel pretty good about it. What was different?
Well, I think I think both lines had a good day at the offense. Obviously, particularly defensive line. I think you look at. I'll throw MJ Sherman in there, but what do you think? Ty Robinson, Jamar Butler. I think Jamar Butler had 3 or 4 tackles for losses. Probably could have had another sack. He got sacked by the left tackle there. Ty Robinson got held on another. MJ Sherman had a sack, I think, and a couple tackles for losses. So when you think of the defensive line, I think they obviously nullified their running attack, period. One of the things I said, you got to shut off their run game and then try to get pressure to the quarterback. They were able to pressure the quarterback, especially in the first 3 quarters. But missed, obviously a lot of, holding calls and opportunities, but they were getting them flustered a little bit. And I felt like the offensive line, played well enough, played well up front too. Look, sometimes they got beat, but then Nebraska beat them. They were able to run some different things and get hat on the hat and create some run lanes and create opportunities for running backs to have a successful day. And then, And so I think it started and stopped there. I felt like across the lines, Nebraska probably walked out of there with a W. Matter of fact, not probably. I think they won the line of scrimmage. Wasn't perfect, but it's not going to be perfect against Ohio State. That's what people need to understand. When you play against good teams, you're going to get beat. You're and it's not because you're not playing against guys that you're better than across the board. You're playing against guys that are as good as you and sometimes better than you, and you got to compete. And that's what I think is different. Guys were actually competing. You were taking some L's. You were giving out some L's. There was a couple 50-50s or stalwarts or whatever you want to call them, and you were going back to the huddle and coming back again. That's what was different. The lines both took that approach. And then, like I said, the biggest thing that, you want Nebraska to, lessen or have that percentage is the direct access percentage. And sometimes, you know what, you just get beat. You just get beat at the point of attack. But I mean, more or less the direct access where, we miss a check or something like that, or a run gap or something like that. And then Ohio State started, they stepped up their game. They started to bleed us a little bit in the run game. But I will tell you what, we started to make some plays. We started to make some football plays. We started to make some drive saving tackles and getting guys on the ground and putting them in situations where they had to make plays. And then they beat us on a kind of a corner route, one-on-one against our linebacker and stuff like that. And, tip your hat on, you get got, and everybody's gotten beat. I've gotten beat before. I've had good coverage, gotten beat. I've had bad coverage and gave up touchdowns. And so you want to make sure, that you make sure you look at the game with the right lens. And I think there's also a little bit when you go back to Indiana, right? How Indiana was able to really get off, right? Especially, I guess, offensively. When you walk away from some of those games, and I always go back to when we played San Francisco one night, and I'll tell you, man, we got I mean, they were up like 21-0, man, before I could even get a lather. You know what I'm saying? Turnover in our red zone, off tackle, touchdown, and they big play touchdown. And then when you go back and watch the film, if you take out in this case, when I played, it was like 4 plays, you're pretty even Steven. And so you walk away with a little bit of confidence, like, okay, we don't punch ourselves in the face. We give ourselves a puncher chance. And so maybe there was a little bit more of that where they knew that wasn't them out there against Indiana, and it was a lot of self-inflicted wounds and a lot of boil over too, where if you got a couple first downs on offense, then it puts them Indiana in a different situation offensively because they can't be super aggressive because you're actually closer to their they're backed up across their 50. And so you're not playing defense. You're able to play, offense a little bit, or have offensive type of mindset. And you saw it bowl over against Ohio State. And listen, don't make excuses for Ohio State. Don't come tell me that 11 o'clock, and I grant it's not, of course, it's not a night game against Michigan, right? You could say the Ohio State game isn't a night game in Nebraska against Colorado. Don't sit up there and say like, oh, it was 11 o'clock. They weren't trying. No, they were trying. They were getting their butt kicked. And then they started to kick our butt. Then we kicked their butt. Then they kicked ours. And then we went back and forth. It was a heavyweight fight. They did not play well. They didn't play up to their standards. But I would say also neither did we, because I like to think that, we could play better as well. But they were able to come out on the top end and, get the victory. By no means were they out there not trying. They weren't trying. They were trying, excuse me. And they knew they were in a dogfight, and that's what you want.
It was interesting. Jay and I were texting before the game, and he said, what's the vibe? And I said, no, it kind of felt like they were going to the dentist's office, just watching body language, facial expressions, etc. Right? Everybody's got a headphone on, everybody's got ear pods on, and you're kind of you're watching to see whether eyes are up.
Yeah.
Like body language, you can maneuver yourself in a way, but to see how people look at one another. And there really wasn't much communication going on before. And then first hit. And I saw a group of Huskers get to pull together on the sideline before they went out on the field after the botched kickoff and then a couple of shank punts. You start to see players rally other players. And we've talked about it a couple of times that one, Dylan on offense, he just is. Like he just is. He has that magnetism. On the defensive side, to watch MJ Sherman actually challenge some Ohio State linemen.
Yeah.
Like to stand up to it. It seemed natural in that space, Jay, to watch. And it's amazing how young people step up to moments and then it's never the same again.
Well, everybody got that. You get backed into a corner, or you feel embarrassed, or you let yourself down. You're gonna come out. It's that fight or flight thing, and so that's where they were at. And I think look very easily the way that game started. You kind of muffed the punt, and then you kind of I think one of the run backs slipped on the the exchange with the quarterback. You're just kind of trying to get going, right? You're just trying to get into the game. You punt, and Bushini didn't have his best punt. Well, the defense comes out there, and it's listen. Very rarely do you get to answer the bell or a situation that you just had a week before, right? Sudden change, right? We had it last week. You're right. We had a fumble. It's sudden change, and then we didn't answer the call. Well, here you are on the road in a situation where you very easily could have just pointed the finger and roll over, and the defense now stepped up and was dominant. So it was a mindset thing that they needed to change and understand that everything is a winnable battle, and so whether it was MJ Sherman, whether it was Jamari, or whether it was Ty or whoever, they all collectively they had a mindset of this is who we are and this is what we're going to do. And sometimes to be honest with you, maybe it was what they needed. I mean, I don't even like saying that. I don't think anybody needs that on national TV, but I think maybe it's something that they needed to as a group to understand. And it's not a bad thing. Sometimes you have to, you could hear it
enough.
But,
just
but
have to say enough.
no, you got to understand that we can go to another level. We can actually do this. And and then you could go to another level. You can go be another person when you play football. We can be a step or two better. But then also I think they probably looked at these dudes on tape was like, man, they ain't scared of nobody. So I think, right now they just gotta, I think Matt Rule said, you just gotta worry about what we didn't do, and you gotta fix some of those things and look at it. And just execute a little bit better. You got to expect the best shot from UCLA to come in here off a bye week. But I think UCLA, as they watch that game, they know they're in for a dogfight, and so you got to make it come to fruition. You got to get back to the basics and obviously the fundamentals and all that. You don't want to kind of gloss over those because I think it's mentally as much as physically right now. And then you want to go out and attack the week. And then when UCLA comes, obviously you're going to be game planning for them and just go out there and give them the business that they, came to get.
It's gonna be. It's Charlie Brown in the football and Lucy.
Yeah.
As much as so, again, we break things into the three different compartments of those that feel like, hey, things are good. Things are good. There are people like, we still don't know. And then the other third is going to wait and see. You're not real sure. But I just see Charlie Brown in football. Man, I hope Lucy leaves the ball down, lets him kick it. I hope the Huskers get the kick this week, bro.
Yeah, I mean, it would be a step in the right direction. But then also, I mean, when you think about it, I mean, people, I would say, like, people are going to show up and do a lot of things and have their Rotten Tomatoes, review already written. So you got to understand is that, you got to go out and earn it. I mean, teams are allowed to get better during the year and teams are allowed to adjust and they're found their rhythm. UCLA looked significantly different than what the people, or they look now they look a little bit different than they did early in the season, and they're a lot better. They found their rhythm. And then obviously with Nebraska, we've had to refine our rhythm, which is last week. And so I think it's going to be a challenge. You're not going to win games anymore based on what your assumptive or what is in a magazine, because before the season started, you never would have thought Indiana, let alone was going to be 8-0 and be legit college football playoff contender based on the schedule and what they've earned it. There's no more of what if, right? But on the other hand, you would never expect Rutgers with the fanfare that they've had and what everybody thought they would be where they're at. And so right now you just got to deal with where you're at, and you got to be able to make some plays and go out there and beat them. And so you got to find, every team's got a weakness. UCLA is still the same players, and they're in a rhythm. So you got to find out what they do well, take that away from them, and then we got to be able to take advantage of some key opportunities and matchups. Come Saturday afternoon.
I'm just looking forward to the post game. You, Nick, Austin, Chancellor, post game after win number 6. Like I just want to know what's gonna be said. Like Austin's grinning, but Jay.
I mean, it's kind of depends.
See outside the windows more than anything.
Yeah, that'd probably be pretty interesting. I mean, it's it's when you play a lot of football, you're able to watch the game from a different lens. It's probably something that probably I would say like we could. I want to obviously congratulate, but then obviously let's keep this bad boy moving. Let's do it. It's fully what I expect. And when you look at the game with a realistic lens, sometimes you don't get it at the time that you want it. Every time when you get it, said that the time is right. So I think it's right there for them, but you got to go earn it. And sometimes this game is a little bit harder than people really know, because you can see the first goal and you just want to get there. So yeah, it'd be interesting. I mean, I think so. As you sit back and really just take a pulse of what people say around it, it's definitely a interesting time for what everybody's trying to get in where they fit in and try to stake to wherever they are. But it's definitely interesting.
I want to go to the text line because this one comes from Rodney. He says, DP and J, why are the opposing quarterbacks throwing at such a ridiculously high percentage against the black shirts? Jay?
I mean, you mean like against you talking about Ohio State? I mean, they got the best receiver in the nation. And the one to take that's a pretty dang good pitch and catch. That's what happens when you play against good players. You're going to get beat. Now, I'd probably say, Indiana game, that's self-inflicted. So when you look at Ohio State, well, when you're getting your run shut down, I mean, I would ask you, because I guarantee you, if Henderson, with 32-1, if they were running up and down the field, then they were like, well, we're not stopping the run, right? So then we did a really good job against the run, which made them pass more. And they just hit a couple big plays. I mean, it's, one was, I think, the first one, I think, in my opinion, I think was a good pitch and catch, and then I think the second one, I think we just kind of were a little bit late in covering Smith down the middle. That's on us. And then the last touchdown, I think it was just kind of got caught in a weird position, or in a no-win situation or weird position. There were some other throws, but there was a couple where you were right there. Hartzog was right there. Singleton was right there.
Slanting corner in the same route against the linebacker.
Right.
Like, yeah, just like,
I mean, we made them make plays, and so I don't think anything to do. We affected the quarterback. We got to the quarterback. Heck, there's one play where I think they got 16 yards, and I think it's the one where it's tweeted out the guy had Jamari Butler literally by the neck. That by no means is not a football play. It's at the point of attack because the quarterback would be affected. The ref was sitting right there. That's his number one job, obviously, to protect the quarterback. And he just forgot to throw the flag. I think
you had one job.
Yeah, one job. I forgot to do it. So I think I don't think it's anything of concern. I think it was, they made them earn it. They got on one or two plays, and another one, they just was better on that play. You're not going to be able to you're not going to shut Ohio State down to like 100 yards passing unless they just play or like Pittsburgh against Syracuse that night, where every tip ball is returned for a 6 points. I mean, McCord had 5 interceptions. 3 of them went for house calls, and so that's the only way you're going to happen. It's not going to happen, with Ohio State. And so they're able to attack you, every single way, and to hold them to 21 points is a pretty good job against the run and or the pass, regardless of the perfection that I always look for the defense, but then also what everybody else wants.
Yeah, I kind of felt that way. That you're allowing some things. You can't take away everything on defense, and then when you're playing an Ohio State offense, you're picking your poison. And the question is, do you want death by 1,000 paper cuts, or do you want do you want to get bashed in the head? Well, for of the 47 offensive plays, Nebraska can feel really good about 38 of them.
Yeah, I mean, but they're going to make plays. I mean, you got to understand, you're going to make plays. There's parts of the defense that you're willing to give up, and they were making plays, and they called some plays, made some adjustments, and that's what happened. Look, man, they got great players over there. They got great coaches. They're well coached and schooled, and so are we. They were able to do some things. I just think that we could get a little bit better at what we're doing. Obviously, will lead to a lot better this week, but then also, take the positives of what we did last week as far as really, being dominant up front and really being aggressive. And you saw some guys. Look, man, I could tell you, man, getting in the blocks, getting off blocks, making plays, playing with the intention to be the best you could be, not even worrying about who you're playing against, just being straight in it to win it. That's the type of championship mentality, because that's going to boil over into practice. So when you boil it over in practice, it's going to be second nature. And so, I think it's definitely, there's positives in it to it. And obviously the most positive that you want is to win the game. But ultimately, you prove a lot to yourself, and now you want to go prove it to everybody else, amongst everybody else's 6 wins, and then, move on from there. You got 4 games that are definitely winnable. There ain't no doubt about it. And so let's win. If you want to win all 4, you can't win all 4 until you win the first one, which comes Saturday, I think at 2:30. I think the matchup is good. I think it's good to have some, recent revisionist history to keep you motivated, keep you focused. 2 different games, which are 2 different types of motivation, and then hopefully it comes to fruition come Saturday at 2:30.
It's going to be a big one. I'm going to try not to overhype. In my mind, the importance of winning win number 6 of the season, and doing it at home, after playing well, in air quotes, against Ohio State on the road, after recovering from a brutal beatdown against Indiana, and to come back and to play better. You can play your best, but you play better.
Right.
We can dream and hope that they continue to step forward and up. That's going to be my phrase for the next several days. I hope that this program goes forward and up.
Yeah, I think they'll be all right. I mean, I think it's something that, you got to get back to work. It's Monday, so, game's here by 4 or 5 days, and so it's good. It's got to be on and popping here. So what's about to be on and pop? We're going to take a quick break, come back. We'll talk about a little NFL talk, man. We got the Jets. We got obviously the Cowboys. We got the Chiefs. Chiefs just made a trade, increasing that pass rush. Chiefs are just trying to just dominate everybody. We'll talk about who possibly can catch them. But before that, Jay Foreman, DP, Austin Orman, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Load up on meat and more this fall at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese at 84th and Havelock. This week's special through October 29th is $1 off per pound on New York strips. Spend $50 and get a free brick of ground beef and 25% off on tea. Locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Highway 2 in Lincoln, or 168th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
Hey everyone, Lance here with Black Label. We specialize in creating custom crafted decks, pergolas, patio covers, and more. Plus, our retractable screens, gazebos, and patio enclosures create the ultimate outdoor retreat. With over 50 years of combined experience, we're not just builders, we're creators of unforgettable memories.
Call them today at 402-730-6333 or visit blacklabelbuilt.com for a free consultation.
Let's turn your backyard dreams into reality.
Black Label Built, built to serve, built to last.
All right, Rico, let's do the final checklist before we head out. We have a lot of people coming to the tailgate today.
I'm ready.
Burgers? Check. Chips? Check. Icy cold beer? Check. Except this one. I'm forgetting something. Wait a second. Where's the Führer's cheese spread?
I can't stop eating it.
Rico!
Relax. I always pack extra. It's the biggest hit of the tailgate.
For the best appetizer, party dip, and tailgate snack, load up on Fuhrer's cheese spread today in most local grocery stores.
If you're a veteran, our nation has created a wide range of benefits to thank you for your service. But it can be difficult to navigate the process of determining eligibility, filing claims, appealing decisions, and securing the benefits you've earned. Speak to your county veteran service officer or the Nebraska Department of Veterans Affairs State Service Office to see what's available to you and your family. These services are 100% free. So visit veterans.nebraska.gov today. Sponsored by the Nebraska Department of Veterans Affairs, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Hi, this is State Senator Carolyn Bosin. As a state senator, wife, and mom, I believe Nebraska is a great place to work and raise a family. My husband Reggie and I are local family business owners and proud to be involved in our community. Property tax relief is important to every family. Last year, I voted for the largest property tax relief package in Nebraska history, and I will continue to advocate for property tax relief. Vote Carolyn Bosin on November 5th, paid for by Bosin for Legislature.
Fall is here, which means it's time to dive into a new lineup of autumn flavors at Wings and Rings. Your home away from home during football season. Their all-star lineup of wing sauces is adding 2 new impact players, curry garlic and pumpkin chili. Need something delicious before kickoff? How about starting your meal with their brand new chorizo nachos and loaded fries? You better act fast. These new tastes of autumn won't be here long. So make the trip to one of their 2 Lincoln locations today on O Street or Village Lane.
If you're a homeowner or a business owner, you have a lot of projects, and no one has an unlimited budget or time. Sunbelt Rentals makes all jobs less stressful with no need to purchase large equipment or hire a crew. You can do it yourself with rentals and everything from aerators and power rakes for spring yard work to stump grinders, concrete mixers, tile saws, and more. Check out their inventory in Lincoln, north of Cornhusker Highway on 56th Street, or online at sunbeltrentals.com.
The Mill Coffee and Tea, formerly with only 4 Lincoln locations, now 5 Lincoln locations. That's 25% more locations than there used to be. Can you even imagine a world where there's only 4 Lincoln Mill locations? Feels like ages ago. We were all so young then. The Mill on 11, located right alongside the 93.7 The Ticket Studios at 1040 O Street.
Rosie Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with a child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
Hi, everyone. Kendall Warnock with A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. If you're looking for an automotive repair facility you can genuinely trust, we would be grateful for the opportunity to earn your business repairing your vehicle. We have ASE master technicians and qualified to work on a variety of vehicles from Hondas to Porsches, Jaguars to Toyotas, and Chevrolets to Fords. We pride ourselves on customer service and relationships, and we would be grateful for the opportunity to serve you. Give us a call at 402-477-4660. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
Back to old school with DP&J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
What up? We're back. Jay Foreman, DP Austin. Back to the NFL stuff. A lot going on, or a lot that isn't going on. If you're out there, New York Jets in their facility, 2-6. Obviously, go to New England and get upset. And then obviously you have the Chiefs upgrading, obviously taking advantage of the Raiders. My Buffalo Bills represented to the fullest, Houston Texans represented to the fullest. But the enjoyment of the weekend, and I think it's probably going to be the play of the year unless something crazy happens, was the two top quarterbacks that were drafted. Obviously, Caleb Williams and Jaden Daniels went at it. Obviously, Jaden Daniels coming off a rib injury. Caleb Williams was able to muster a drive, actually a pretty impressive drive under the pressure of being at home, but then also you just never know when you're going to get your chance. Drove the team down, scored, thought the game was over. Lo and behold, you have the Hail Mary tip by Tyreek Stevenson into the hands of Noah Brown. But I think people at DP, before we get into what really happened in the aftermath, is that one of the crucial mistakes, I hate preventing defense, one of the crucial mistakes that happen. I learned this, obviously, being with Wade Phillips and Ted Cottrell is a sneaky play. It's cause and effect, right? You saw it. I think the Bears and Matt Eberflus thought the game was over, gave up a 15-yard out, which only took 2 or 3 seconds, which was actually probably the play that won the game. And why is that so important? And this is why you always have to watch the game of football and not just the highlights. Why it's important. It puts you 15 yards closer. It gives Jaden Daniels a lot more time to scramble around, and obviously bad things can happen because that same pass with that same trajectory barely gets to the 10-yard line without that 15-yard out or 10 to 15-yard out. Why is that important? How do you stop that? With the timeouts that teams have, they didn't have any. So then, therefore, you actually play either man-to-man against him outside, or you just play some sort of outside zone, meaning you are going to protect the sidelines. That will force the Washington Commanders to throw a Hail Mary the play before. And also, if you are going to rush, right, the quarterback isn't going to scramble for 80 yards or whatever it is, 60, 70 yards to win. He's going to have to throw it. You only need 2 defensive linemen. You might not even need any, to be honest with you, on that last play of the game. Or you do what Rex Ryan and what Buddy Ryan does under that circumstances. You blitz 6 or you blitz 5. Somebody will get pressure, and then obviously that will stop him from throwing the Hail Mary. So there's other ways that you could have won it about doing it, but more importantly, you got Tyreek Stevenson being engaged in that play before he tipped it right to Noah Brown, and now he's a part of history on the wrong side of history.
Listen, bro.
My man, because you didn't even see when he bet the Commanders fans before the game. Man is he was just out there playing, just out there just living his best life.
Yeah, receipts due, man. Like the bill always comes due. The football gods exist, and they listen. If you're not going to do basic stuff, I don't know, line up right. Hey, face the right direction. Hey, tell me what day we worked on talking to the crowd during Desperation Hail Mary final. Like, tell me what day we said, don't pay attention to the snap of the ball. Hey, don't pay attention to matching up. Hey, don't stay deeper than everybody else.
Right.
Like you're the deepest man. You're the deepest man. Hey, Jay, he's the deepest man. And then we all at the same time quoted the great Tom Jackson. Knock it down. Knock it down.
Well, they tried to knock it down.
No. See, hey, Jay, there's tipping and then there's knocking it down.
Yeah.
Knocking it down. Listen, tipping it. They ran a diamond. We put in diamond 2 weeks before regular season on every team I've ever coached for receivers. We put in diamond for desperation plays, end of half, big play, one if we want pass interference. We put in diamond. And we know that tracking that there's always one defensive back who just can't hold water. He just won't pay attention, Jay. You could tell him, hey, man, you're the deepest guy, and he will find some distraction. I don't care what it is. He thinks, you know what? I'm Superman. I can get there. Hey, man, I can outjump everybody. Hey, man, you don't know the leaping. You don't know, Jay. And there he is. You put in that you have 2 tippers, 2 designated tippers for offense. The defense doesn't have a designated tipper.
Yeah, well, here's more importantly, they have a linebacker that used to play for Buffalo. His name's Tremaine Edmonds. He has a twin brother that plays for Pittsburgh. But Tremaine Edmonds was a first-round pick for Buffalo. Big old dude, man. I met him, man. I mean, I'm 6'2.5". My man is 6'4", 6'5". He can run. He's a great athlete. Guess where Tremaine Edmonds was? About the 5-yard line. That's the dude that you put either in the middle to go, man for man to knock it down, or he is your guy at the behind the mush to knock any tip down. And so it's all about personnel and where you have guys, and it happens more often. I'm gonna tell you, we'll move over to the Jets, and obviously, Jaden Daniels is he's a legend. He is a legend already in the DC or DMV area. But the best Hail Mary thrower of all time is Aaron Rodgers, and so there is an art to it. And with games so close, you see it, and it's two ways. One, teams actually concentrate and they have kind of sets or situation or plays off of it. They actually look at it as a play that they can complete. And, back probably when we played, it was like, we got to get lucky and, so forth. Or, we got to push off on someone a la Drew Pearson against the Vikings. But, no better. Yeah, exactly. My dad would be in the Hall of Fame right now. Anyways,
right.
But then also defensively, you have to really study because now guys are bigger, faster, stronger, depending on who you talk to and ask. And so you're going to face these situations a lot more. They are not, and it's not back in the day when I remember watching the Giants when they play like the Eagles or the at that time the Redskins or the Cardinals, and it'd be the Sunday late afternoon game, John Madden and Summerall. He'd be like the Hail Mary. It'd be just like, I'll just get it over with. Guys start already walking to the sideline, dapping up. I'm telling you, man, defensively, you do not want that to happen. You do not want it to happen. Because it's embarrassing. You have 5 seconds left and you're almost close to victory. You do not want that to happen. You got to have it down pat, and it's stressful. It's stressful. It's very detailed, and obviously, it was a great play, by Noah Brown, great throw. But it's something that either you can get better from, or let it affect you, and it's going to go either way for the Bears.
They were. Here's the beauty of Hail Marys, and it brings up conversation that like when you say Aaron Rodgers is the GOAT, that he's completed 4 Hail Marys, which is just insanity. It's just insanity. 1, how you end up in that position. 2, being able to execute it, and then 3, that for all of the numbers, and you're talking about that maybe I think the number's like 35 all time. There's like 35 ever.
Yeah.
And to get it to happen, and then you understand the difference, that Tom Brady never threw a Hail Mary. He never completed a Hail Mary. That's
They didn't have to.
Right. Well, there's that. But you would have, because you were beating everybody. You threw 50 touchdowns. So it's the thing, right? So yeah, from that standpoint, Washington was always on the bad end of Hail Marys. I can think of several. Mel Gray, Clinton Longley throwing one to Drew Pearson. Yeah, there are quite a few of those that were just terrible, and it happened. So here's my question for you on Rodgers. Again, you're now the general manager of the Jets. What is your one sentence statement about the Jets for the rest of the season?
Ooh. Well, you know what? I think like right now you're 2-6. You just got to worry about this first game right here. We got to see improvement, right? And I think, Aaron Rodgers has more life left than what he's shown. I think what you run into trouble when you let somebody come in, I guess as a player. And we saw this even with Russell Wilson with Denver, and let him kind of run the show and picking the coordinator. You got to just reshape your identity, right? You got to really give an honest evaluation to Jeff Ulbrich. Now, granted, you want Aaron Rodgers, his opinion, but it can't be he can't be the one making the decision. He's got to be part of the decision-making process. You got to see what you want to do with Devontae Adams. You got to make a choice. Do you want to run it back in some form of fashion with our core, right? Really good defense. Reshape that. Jeff Ulbrich, who's a defensive coordinator, because if you bring in a whole new staff and everything like that, you're pretty much starting over. Now you got a veteran coach now that you would have to you can't dial up Bill Belichick because he's going to want 100% control. Who could you get? Could you get a Pete Carroll? Could you get Pete Carroll to come in and really do that? Could you? Or to get him a 1 or 2 years. But you got to figure out where you want to go organization wise, and it can't be just in his next 11 games or was it 8 or 9 games. It's got to be where you want to go, and then you got to move forward with the team presently, and evaluate everybody. If everybody's good or not and stuff like that. You got contracts, you got salary cap, And so you got to see where you want to go and what your expectations are these next. It's a 9-game season for them. 9-game season. Because if you show some life and really go in with Coach Ulbrich and whatever you want, and maybe you need a new coordinator to accentuate or whatever what you got, then you can then that's all you need, and then you got to really move forward. So it's a tricky situation. By no means, no matter any way, shape, or form, did the Jets ever expect to be 2-6. They never expected to get on that plane to go up there and not leave. Not leave Foxborough or whatever to be or Gillette Stadium and not being 3-5. They're 2-6. It was an ugly loss after they had control of the game, and they just looked old and decrepit right now. I think the move for Devontae Adams was both out of desperation, but then also in the future. But then also I think the expectations were definitely warped based on what happened in Green Bay, and it takes a while to get some continuity, and they're just not. They don't have it yet.
So before we'll go to break, but before we do that, we'll set the tone for the final segment. One, I know we'll talk about World Series and Monday Night Football, but we need to, Jay, you and I need to do a wellness check, because in week 1, this team took a loss against your Texans, and then week 2, they lost to the Packers, and then they figured out that they were going to have a moment against the Bears, Harrison losing. Then they make Aaron Davis miserable and beat the Steelers, right? Then they go and just cough up an L against the Jaguars. They beat the Titans. Hope. They beat the Dolphins. He gets to look Jake Sorensen in the face and just laugh. He threw his head back. But the next 4 weeks started yesterday.
Get him off you, Austin.
No, listen.
I gotta take it. I can't run from it.
I'm worried about him because, and we need to we'll get his wellness check when we come back. But listen, they lose to the Texans. He's got to face Jay's Vikings, then Jay's Bills, and then the Jets. It's a tough stretch for AO. Let's find out if he's okay when we come back to the final segment of Old School.
You're listening to Old School with DP&J. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hi, I'm State Senator Bo Ballard. I was born and raised right here in Lancaster County. I understand the value of hard work by being involved in our family business. I built my own company, creating jobs right here in our community. Nebraska families and business owners need lower taxes, more affordable health care, and a great education system. That is why I fought for the largest tax cut in Nebraska history, reduce the cost of health care, and help pass the biggest investment in our public schools. I'm Senator Bo Ballard, and I humbly ask for your vote on November 5th, paid for by Ballard for Nebraska.
Hi, this is Investigator Joe Villamonte with the Lincoln Police Union, asking you to vote for Carolyn Bosin for legislator. As a prosecutor, Carolyn Bosin has always supported law enforcement to keep our community safe. Carolyn Bosin has the experience we need. Carolyn Bosin is the only choice for legislator to keep our community safe. Join the law enforcement community in voting to keep our community safe. Vote Carolyn Bosin on November 5th.
Paid for by Bosin for legislature.
One great idea can change your life.
ABC Fridays. Shark Tank is all new.
That's the American dream right there.
With guest shark Todd Graves, founder of Raising Cane's.
I want to be on a team with you.
Emmy-winning Shark Tank, Fridays 8/7 Central on ABC and stream on Hulu.
Herrick Services takes this time to wish everyone a happy and safe Halloween. With all the parents and kids out and about, they encourage drivers to be careful and respectful of trick-or-treaters. This important message comes to you from Bart and the folks at Herrick Services, your vending specialists here in Lincoln. Their quality service and expertise has earned them a fine reputation. That's Herrick Services, on the air because they care.
If you're a homeowner or a business owner, you have a lot of projects, and no one has an unlimited budget or time. Sunbelt Rentals makes all jobs less stressful with no need to purchase large equipment or hire a crew. You can do it yourself with rentals and everything from aerators and power rakes for spring yard work to stump grinders, concrete mixers, tile saws, and more. Check out their inventory in Lincoln, north of Cornhusker Highway on 56th Street, or online at sunbeltrentals.com.
An hour ago, you didn't need a plumber. Now you're in a panic. When life throws you a surprise with a clogged drain, plugged or leaky toilet, broken pipe, leaky faucet or water heater, or a bathroom or kitchen plumbing upgrade, whatever. Just call Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. 467-1111. Keep that number handy, 467-1111. Or go to BryantLincoln.com. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. We do whatever it takes.
Are you worried about storm damage causing issues with your basement? F Foundation Repair fixes basements with supreme waterproofing and exact concrete leveling for residential or commercial clients. They service wet basements, leaky walls, damp crawl spaces, bowing or cracked bricks or drywall, and more. Whether you're in Southeast Nebraska, the Tri-Cities area, or Northeast Kansas, they'll easily make the trip to you. Get a free evaluation today by visiting WeFixBasements.com or call 402-804-1024. F Foundation Repair. We fix basements. It's the fall sports season, and that means that the school year is back in session and you're planning road trips for Nebraska football games and following your kids around to their different events. Stop telling yourself you'll upgrade your car someday and do it now. Mullen Motors lot is full of great vehicles to take home so you don't have to worry about your current car struggling through another season. Come check out their lot just north of 48th and Lake and find your next ride. As your fall schedule gets busy, you'll need a reliable way to get to your destinations. Mullen Motors.
No taglines, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
Tune in to 93.7 The Ticket as soon as the clock hits 0 for the Jay Foreman postgame show. Listen to expert analysis from the Husker Hall of Famer, an 8-year NFL veteran, for 90 minutes after the game. The Jay Foreman postgame show, sponsored by Anderson Ford, Tanner's Bar and Grill, Tavern 180, Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Vinnie Kreekak of State Farm Insurance, and Action Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Electrical on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
General Fire and Safety has been keeping Lincoln businesses and commercial structures safe for more than 50 years. From a simple fire extinguisher to full fire suppression systems, Lincoln has trusted General Fire and Safety to provide top-of-the-line products, installation, and maintenance. If you're starting a new business in a brand new building, call on General Fire and Safety to help you plan a fire safety system that fits the specific needs of your business, employees, and customers. Call General Fire and Safety today at 402-261-0116.
Back to old school with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Awesome, man. We're back, man. I didn't even go hard on you, dog. I did, man. Hey, awesome, man. Listen, I've never seen a quarterback. Well, Donovan McNabb threw up because he was out of shape. I think he was sick, though, but ultimately threw up because he was tired. I've never seen a quarterback like, man, I need to take a break.
Austin. I mean, the rest of the team took a break on him throughout the day. So, no, it's a terrible look. It's a no good, very bad, horrible look from Anthony Richardson. There are guys trying to spin it every which way, but like, come on, bruh. No, don't. you don't sub yourself out as a starting quarterback in the NFL, and especially not a starting quarterback with so much to prove. Right? A guy like Anthony Richardson, who was let down by drops to a degree I've never seen before in my life against the Texans, who, let's also not forget, had a scoop and score for the Colts to take the lead that the refs overturned. So let's get that on video review there. And notice Jay hasn't talked about the refs in that game yet. But no, I mean, it's a bad look for Anthony Richardson. He's got a lot to prove, and subbing yourself out of the game as the starting quarterback is a terrible way to win over the locker room. I thought Ryan Kelly, the center for the Colts, handled it really well. Said, yeah, we had those conversations internally. He didn't come out and put Anthony Richardson on blast. He says he knows what he did. We know what he did. It's been handled. We're moving on. Doesn't change the fact that it's a crappy look.
Austin, I'm going to ask you one question.
Jay, I'm going to answer one question.
Okay, you remember when you used to talk all that mess about he was better than C.J. Stroud? Do you remember this just a couple months ago?
Yes, I was the one that wanted the Colts to draft C.J. Stroud and was disappointed.
No. We're not talking about that. We're talking about how you were saying Anthony Richardson was the dude. I'm just going to ask you, yes or no, is he still your franchise quarterback? Because they got a lot of quarterbacks. You got Quinn Ewers coming up. You could punt, and I'd give you some grace. I ain't give you no grace because he's tired.
Let me pull the Shane Steichen here. He was asked in his press conference today, and he said, everything is being evaluated. So everything is being evaluated, Jay. Everything is being evaluated.
Bro.
Everything is being evaluated.
And Jay Foreman, just as so Austin, tell Jay what you said about how you think the next couple of weeks play out.
Oh, the way this works is that the Colts drop the important game to Houston, which, by the way, we see right behind you in the background there. I did pick up Sam Darnold, who I think is going to carve up the Colts defense for my fantasy team. But if the Colts are going to mess around and win a game, it's going to be Sunday Night Football. They never get on prime time. They'll put on a good show. Anthony Richardson will play well enough or make some Superman play. And then things probably won't go well against the Bills, which is that other jersey behind you over your right shoulder, our left, for our friends watching on our Sartor Heyman Jewelers live video stream. So I still think 0-3 is the most likely outcome. But if they're going to get one, I think that Sunday night is probably the best chance.
Against the Vikings?
That's why I'm saying the best chance, not a good chance.
I got you. You're going 0-3. Just take it like a champ, man. Just get you a Quinn Ewers or try Josh Shador or whatever. Even you can get Nussmeier from LSU or something. Just start over and move him to tight end.
We need an Indiana kid. We need Riley Leonard playing at Notre Dame right now. I'm kidding.
Yeah, you can get somebody.
I'm kidding.
Awesome, man. I didn't even want to go hard on you, man, because I just didn't even know how you would react to it, man.
Jay, I gotta take it, right? I'm not ducking the fight, right? I'm not running from it. It is what it is. I'm in it, 10 toes down.
Jay, who you got tonight, bro?
Oh, Steelers. They're talking about just letting Daniel Jones is on a job interview, so they're gonna mark my words. They're gonna be, even though they don't have the weapons, they're gonna be throwing the ball because they want to see if they want to continue along this path with Daniel Jones. So, I think Daniel Jones is actually a lot better than what people give him credit for because he's been dealt a crappy set of cards. But I think Pittsburgh, parlays of, the deep balls of Russell Wilson to Pickens, I think they take that to the next level. I think Freiermuth gets off the tight end and they try to run the ball against this Giants front. But, I think that Pittsburgh will win tonight.
Austin, get us out of here by telling us, is it 3-0 tomorrow or 2-1?
I think it's 2-1 tomorrow. I think it's 2-1 tomorrow. I'm sticking with Dodgers in 6, though. So
okay.
I think New York
is
the series.
OVER. Sweet.
I'm not mad, Jay. I'm not mad. That's what I want.
There we go. All right, Jay. Well done, Austin. Appreciate you, bro.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.